Welcome to episode 14 of the Unfortunate Diehards podcast, hashtag Alexander Burrows. Welcome back to the podcast. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Evan.
Omar.
Sufjan.
And we're very thankful that you tuned in today. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about what we've been up to, maybe a bit of the soccer that's been going on. We're going to talk about, obviously, our teams, Senators, Capitals, and Maple Leafs. And then we're going to play a couple games at the end for you guys. So, Sufjan, what's been up with you? Heard you've had some pretty exciting past hour.
Is this where I talk about the Caps?
You can just say what you've been up to.
Actually, I want to start off by saying that Lionel Messi is the greatest soccer player of all time. Even if he loses the final, pretty sure that debate is very, very much over. I'm not going to make any Ronaldo fans mad today. I'll just say that he's a really good player, and I respect him. No memes today. Anyways, very, very excited because any second now I could be getting an 800th goal notification for Ovechkin. Greatest goal scorer of all time. Scored everything except for like 50 of his goals on an actual goalie. Unlike Wayne, never mind. But aside from the goal chase, which kind of seemed to be the only thing that we were caring about this season, we've actually started winning games, which has actually been pretty surprising. I was pretty content with the potential of Bedard and Ovechkin playing together next year, but now we're like 4 points out of second in the Metro, even though we're still sixth place, so that's a very crowded division, and anything could happen. We still have guys coming back, but since Oshie came back, I've been pretty adamant about saying what our record is, and it's 7-2-1. And we've won 4 straight, and we're up 4-2 right now against Chicago. And we're all actually going to the game where Caps versus Sens, where Tom Wilson could potentially be coming back. That would be a
another injury for the Sens.
huge addition. You know, the way the Caps are playing right now, though, like when Tom Wilson comes back, we'll probably lose 2 players because that seems to be what's happening with. Like Orlov came back, and then we lost Gustafsson and Farivari, and then Gustafsson came back, and we lost Lars Eller. So it seems to be a revolving door. But on top of that, another guy I need to talk about is Charlie Lindgren, the mustache.
I was just asking what you've been up to.
Oh no, I've been only up to Caps. There's nothing else in my life.
True, actually, he didn't even ask you about the Caps yet.
No, we're going into it because the rest of my life is very uninteresting unless you know me personally.
Which we both do.
Yes. So, and you guys already know everything that's happening there. So I'm strictly here to talk about how great my team is. Apparently not as good as Omer's right now, but
and Evans.
Apparently not as good as Omer's right now. But yeah, Charlie Lindgren, first star of the week last week, 4-0. I remember his stats off by heart: 4-0, 150 GAA, 949 save percentage. And this is a guy that before the season played 5 NHL games. And he is now our backup, and we've signed him for 3 years, so I'm very, very happy with that.
Andrew Hammond-esque.
Yeah, but he's going to sustain it for 3 years.
Yep.
I mean, he only needs to play like 15 to 20 games a year for it to be successful. I think the problem was when Hammond started getting more playing time after his magical run, it was a pretty steep downfall. Anyways, my life is all Capitals right now, and I'm very happy to be a Caps fan. I hope that was wholesome enough.
Omar, what has happened in your life?
Please talk about the Leafs so I don't look like a loser. Talk about the Leafs, actually? I need
later.
Them to hear. No, I need them to hear my voice right now.
Okay, let's just go for an hour of just Soupy talking.
Maybe I should do my own segment.
Honestly, life in the last week.
Omar's married.
We were going for.
I can't say that because he's like 35, so it might actually.
Oh my God! For all those listening, I'm not 35, and I am not 45 either. My age is going to be a big concern on this podcast. No, so in the last, it felt almost empty not having World Cup games in a day for the first time last week. Am I the only one who felt that way?
Felt
Not
empty.
particularly.
I felt like every day I would get up and it's like, oh, there's a game at 8 a.m., a game at 2 p.m., and a game at 4 p.m. or something like that, right?
I only
Yeah.
cared about the Canada and the Argentina game, so that was my only.
No, I
problem.
was watching every single thing, and
You were watching like Qatar, Ecuador.
oh, I didn't see any of the Qatar games. No, I did
Oh,
not watch.
probably a good choice.
If the Qatar games, no, I didn't watch the Qatar games. No,
You say it so much browner than I do. Oh my goodness.
the Qatar games, Qatar.
Qatar?
But then
Like
the
a
first
tar
day,
company.
once the group stage finished, and then we had those, and then once the round of 16 finished, and we were waiting for the quarterfinal games, and we had 2 days of last week with no World Cup games, I was like, oh, something's missing in my life.
Finals on Sunday.
Huh?
The finals not till Sunday, no.
Yeah,
After
well,
tomorrow?
we still have a game tomorrow though. That's going to be interesting. But no,
Imagine
it's
Morocco goes on.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And if they don't let in a goal,
we're hoping for a Morocco
other
victory
than
tomorrow.
Canada's the only team that scored on them.
It was an own goal, man. As much as I don't want to take it away from Canada, it was an own
I
goal.
want it to be France solely for the reason that I don't want to have like torn loyalties because I don't like realistically I don't actually care who wins, but I'd rather Messi win, and I would rather not be voting against Ronaldo or Morocco.
Ronaldo.
Ooh, he could be going there instead of Saudi. But like, I feel like if they play France, we'll at least have some people on our side voting against France because they don't want them to win twice in a row. Whereas Morocco,
Yeah.
I feel like every single person that isn't a Messi fan remotely would want Morocco to win.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But I don't think we can talk about our weeks in the past week without talking about Lionel Messi. What
That
a
is
player!
true.
What a
But
player!
this is a hockey podcast.
Yes.
So we can continue to talk about soccer in a little bit. But yeah, you've been good?
All good. How about you, Evan? How are you?
Good. I've been working lots. I've worked lots of Sens games past couple of weeks. I've worked a lot in Perth, which is just outside Ottawa, where we're based out of.
Great town.
And I actually like Perth quite a
Yeah,
lot.
there's
It's
a lot
cute.
of water.
Yeah, there's a lot of water in Canada.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well, at least in Canada.
and yeah, been pretty solid. Been pretty tired, but we grind, and here we are.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
We
All right,
grind, and
Sufi,
here we
you want
are.
to talk about the Caps now? Because you haven't already.
Let's not get him started again.
Wait, hold on. What else do I have on the Caps? No, that's it. Wait. I really like Alexi Protas. He's a nice big fellow, and he skates like the wind. And yeah, that's all I got.
Evan, how are you feeling about your Senators lately? Another team that's, I guess, you can potentially say they've been a little bit hot lately.
You
A
can.
little bit.
Taming it. So not every team is hot as yours. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, you can't really say that Sens are being hot still, but they're kind of hot right
Not
now.
bad.
Not
In their
bad. Let's say not bad.
Last 9 games, they're 6-2-1.
Yeah, so I guess they're kind of hot.
I would say that's
So
pretty
it's-
good.
it's
Yeah.
scorching, but it's hot.
It's hot. Yeah, it's there.
It-
It's on the stove.
It's more than warm,
It's warming up.
but it's not like you're gonna burn your hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Toronto right now. But yeah,
Until they get their real defenseman back, and then.
So
start
how are you
winning
feeling
games.
in this stretch? How are you feeling about their play in general? Let's say I'm gonna just begin this, and the reason I don't want to call them hot is because I was at a game a week ago
oh yeah.
when the Senators
when they
played
lose now, they lose,
the
like, really bad.
Los Angeles Kings, and I wanted to start fire DJ chants because I was like, "What is this team? And do they even know how to play?" Like it was horrendous. I'm not gonna lie, it was a terrible
You made
performance.
that 2 words, horrendous.
Horrendous.
He's not from this country.
Yeah, born and raised.
Oh damn. Like, I'm not from this country.
But despite that, they're pulling through some wins. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about their general play?
How do you feel about Nikita Zaitsev?
Well, if you look at their 3-0 win against Anaheim,
Oh my
Nikita Zaitsev was actually the
goodness.
best analytical player on the team.
By a mile.
Yeah. So
This is actually true.
It's
Yes.
interesting because it's almost like him being sent down is what he needed, which is weird because you just assume that
It's
was
not the
just-
first time it's happened though, as
Yeah,
he's been
that's
sent down, right?
In years, bro. I don't even know that's what he needed. That was just like a
Fluke.
he needs to do this to stay and have a job.
Yeah.
and he's playing
Serviceable.
all right. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about it. Ottawa has quite a few injuries right now. So do the Caps.
So do the Leafs.
Don't care about the
Leafs
Leafs
have
though.
injured.
We got Brody back, but yeah,
Morgan
sorry.
Riley not being injured has helped him.
This is
Anyways,
a great
continue.
sense talk.
sorry.
Too
Kevin.
much time last time.
So, Norris and Stutzel are injured right now, who are our top two centers. Luckily,
Is Stutzel
Kachuk
really
can
a
take
center?
face-offs. Giroux is a center. Pinto's a center. So I guess our centers are Giroux and Pinto, which is still pretty decent. But like typically it's Norris and Stutzel. We're missing Joseph and Mott on the third line, which isn't the best. I don't know who we're gonna call up if it's like Sokolov, Lodin, Crookshank, whatever. I guess we'll figure it out. But
I've heard a lot about Crookshank.
he's a little guy, but he's like a little weasel.
He was good in like preseason or something, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was like the last guy cut on the.
Yeah, I was hearing
forwards.
about him in preseason. I think. Yeah.
Just because of his
yeah.
name, I like remembered it.
Yeah.
Angus Crookshank.
What a name.
Matched with my sister on. I don't remember what app, but an app.
Bumble.
I was like,
Expose him. Get him
whoa.
on the podcast.
Yeah. Hey, Angus. No. Well, maybe.
Maybe.
Anyways, yeah, they've been playing better. Like not every game, obviously, but it's nice because Batherson's been playing a bit better lately. He started the season strong, wasn't playing as dominant lately. But I think everyone's kind of contributing recently. I think the Shabbat injury, it let the reins for Sanderson to play a bit more. And now because of that, Shabbat's playing a little bit less, and that break with his concussion, Shabbat has been really, really good lately. Like even watching that Nashville game and who did they play in Anaheim yesterday? He was back checking really strong, like making good defensive plays. He was creating offense. He's on, like he has 9 points in his last. No, he has 11 points in his last 9 or 10 games, something like that.
Did you guys shut out Anaheim?
Yes, it was a 3-0, I believe.
3-0.
Right? Yeah.
They've been
Talbot
outscored-
shutout.
They've been outscored 10-0 in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn.
nice. Go for them. But yeah, it's been a lot better, and I think Sanderson, Shabbat kind of splitting minutes more. Zaitsev playing a bit better, and then getting a bit of depth scoring. Like we got a Parker Kelly goal the other day, which was great. And yeah, I think it's nothing outstanding. Like a lot of these games are still close. It's not like they're blowing out teams every win, but they're playing competitive hockey,
Where
which
are they
is
standing wise?
That's still where they are. About.
yeah, they're not. They're
yeah.
almost 500, which is
Okay.
nice. But they were significantly below.
Yeah.
So they're getting closer to 500, which is great. And if we're going to talk about the Senators, we have to talk about their power play because it's
Yeah, it's
sixth in the
nasty.
league right now.
It's hot. Yeah, actually, that's the
And
the
it's
couple of
clicking at,
goals.
26%, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Scored on the very amazing San Jose penalty kill.
Well, their first
They
unit
scored 2 last
there.
night, too.
I mean, DeBrincat's a great addition on that power play.
Well,
yeah.
that's true. Like Sutzel's usually on there, but now he's gone. And
Yeah.
Norris was on the first unit last year. So now they moved Giroux up to the first one. Claude Giroux's on our second power play unit. Like, oh my gosh. So now Giroux's up there where Stutzel usually is. He got the primary assist on the first DeBrincat goal, which is a power play goal. Then DeBrincat scored a second power play goal from Batherson. It's just like which sucks. Like I talked about dump ins, like us being a good possession team. We break into the zone really well and can snap it around great. And I wish we did that on 5-on-5 more. But I mean, I don't know if this is sustainable, but we're scoring, it seems like, every game on the power play. Would you pass me my water? But yeah, it seems like we're scoring every game on the power play once, maybe twice. And that seems where a lot of our chances are coming from right now, because we have a really interesting system where we have DeBrincat kind of in the high slot, on the circle kind of. Then we have Kachuk kind of in front of the net and can turn into a bumper into a front of the net presence. Then we have usually whether it's Pinto or Batherson kind of as a bumper or into the slot for like a quick shot from the middle. And then we have Shabbat kind of at the point, and then Stutzel kind of runs up and down the half wall, making passes and stuff. And
He's kind of everywhere on the power play. When I saw him, he was like just skated around at one point with the puck and then found someone cross ice. Like when he does stuff, it's pretty special sometimes. As long as he's not like trying too much, which I guess works better on the power play because you have more space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so they created this thing where if they pass down low, let's say it's to Kachuk on the goal line, he can either wrap it right away or have the cross seam pass to DeBrincat, who you have to respect as a shooter, or the guy, which is usually Batherson on that unit in the middle, or Pinto on the other unit. And so you're creating, because Kachuk can drive to the net almost as well as anyone in the National Hockey League from right there. Then you have a 40-goal scorer, and then you have a guy in the middle who I think is one of Ottawa's best offensive players still, in Batherson. So it's an interesting unit because they're playing to their strengths and kind of exposing teams because they just can't cover everyone. And with Stützle like kind of doing laps up and down, someone has to kind of follow him. And then you have Chabot, who's a pretty, good offensive defenseman on there. So it's an exciting time because we've had years in the past, like 2-3 years, where we couldn't even break it in. We had, like, no disrespect to Jean-Gabriel Pageau, but you probably shouldn't be on a first PP on like a really good team. And yeah, so trending in a positive direction.
That DeBrincat goal was hilarious. The one that he scored yesterday, because you could tell that he just didn't want to miss, and he like passed it into the net because that was just not good of a pass. But he literally like took like a second, and it was still wide open. Then he's passed it into the net.
Oh, he's probably thinking back to Nashville and
It's hot.
at the post.
Yeah.
The Sens, I mean, I think they've come back to what you'd expect a little bit more of them. I mean, like, they started off really hot, and you knew that wasn't going to last, but then
Really
they went
hot.
into this.
I think they were 4-2, and they started losing.
No, well, I mean, in
Hot
terms of, they lost their first two, yeah, but then they went on that 4-game home win streak, and they were playing really good hockey, and they were winning pretty dominantly in those 4 games, I think. And because we were at the Dallas game, remember? That was the first.
Yeah, and I was at the Caps game.
That was pretty dominant by Ottawa, I thought, that game. And you were at the Caps game, yeah. So I mean, they were winning winning pretty dominantly, and I think Sens fans were really excited. And then we're like, okay, are they going to make it 5 games or whatever? And are they going to continue this, playing this way? And I think we knew that they wouldn't, but then they kind of went down into like this 7-8 game losing streak, whatever it was, and we're like, okay, now we don't expect them to be like this bad. And then they never really recovered from that until about the last 10 games where they've gone a bit better. So I think right now when they're playing like, what was their record, 6-2-1 or whatever you said, that's a pretty, decently hot record. But we can expect something closer to that, I think, for the rest of the year. Can we not?
Their goal is what, competitive? Like, just be competitive.
Just be
like,
competitive.
yeah,
And I mean,
closer to the
being,
playoffs.
even if they weren't 6-2-1 and they were like, 5-3-2 or something, like whatever it is, like that's still a pretty comparative decent record. Where if they played more like that earlier too, they could have been hovering around the wild card right now, right? So it's where you expect them. So it's kind of coming back around for them, where you think. I still don't agree with not firing DJ, but there you go.
Well, I don't know. Like, I haven't really seen that much different in like their 5-on-5 play. I think the power play is definitely carrying a little bit. But,
Oh, definitely.
But what a power play it is.
It's a good
Wow.
power play.
Exactly. I mean, if it's hot, it's hot. And like the thing is, it at least buys you a little time to figure out some 5-on-5 issues. Now, I don't know if they plan on changing anything 5-on-5.
Well, they have to.
See,
They have no
yeah.
players left.
The reason their power play, like the thing is, from what I mean, they should be, but they've got a couple injuries. But now they're essentially a one-line team with that Stützle. Well, not Stützle's gone, but the Stützle,
I think
Giroux, and
what
Kachuk
they're
line.
going to do is they're still going to have Giroux and Kachuk on the same line, and they're still going to have Batherson and DeBrincat on the same line. So that's still who the hell they're putting on those 2 lines. I have no idea. It's going to be Pinto on one, and then probably Soufiane on the other. I don't know, but
No,
it's like that's still top 6 because you'll have 5 guys
Yeah, I've
who
got
are
6
still
points.
pretty decent.
I got 6 points in 2 games. I'm serviceable.
But
Yeah.
but generally that top line of Giroux, Stützle, and Kachuk, like that's the carrier of the
Yeah,
team.
that's definitely the first line.
Yeah, it's the first line is the carrier, and I mean they're also on the power play. So that line.
Well, but that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like that power play, like we don't get a ton of power play goals from our second unit. I think it's also because that first unit has played together for like a year or 2 years now, other than adding DeBrincat. So they're kind of like used to each other. They know what their tendencies are, and I mean, realistically, even with the injuries, that first unit is still Kachuk, Batherson, DeBrincat, Chabot, and Giroux. Like that's. I'm not saying it's like the same as these other teams, but like I remember back in the day when Colorado had one line and that's it, or when Pittsburgh was like really heavily relying on their big guns, they would win 4-2 games because they'd scored 2 power play goals because their first unit was just really good. Like, they didn't have depth. And Ottawa, I think, when totally healthy, has, like, okay depth.
Just not their bottom 6 as much. Their top 6 is, like, gross.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, like, you know, with these injuries, it sucks because you could use Joseph and Mott as, like, pretty serviceable, like, NHLers. But, you know, this first unit, I don't know if it's going to keep it up as much, but, like, while you're clicking and, like, hopefully they just keep rolling and hopefully rely on them for now.
Bad?
It's shoulder or wrist, or it's not surgery, sorry, injury. It didn't look good how he went off. So we have another forward out with a shoulder injury. That's been all of our centers, Stützle, Pinto, and Norris have all had shoulder injuries. So, I mean, Norris is practicing, not in a contact jersey, but
is he practicing with the team?
Yeah, with the team.
Okay.
But he wasn't until, like, last week or something. But he's at least practicing with the team, which is positive. Maybe he's back in January. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little ambitious, but you never know. I mean, it'd be really nice to have him back. Like, even though he was, like, shooting like 20-ish% last year, he's still a guy that could score you 30 goals. Like, he was on pace for like 45 or something. But, like, a guy who could score you 30. So, you know, having that back and a good two-way center, like, that would benefit our team a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a good top 6 center for sure. Like, adding him would improve a lot of teams. The thing is, I did forget something caps-wise because you're saying Norris is, like, ahead of schedule, which I think seems like if he's not contact already, he should be back this year, which I don't think many people were even expecting as much.
Well, they thought he was going to have surgery.
Yeah.
He didn't have to.
Yeah. But Nicholas Backstrom is, like, practicing with the team and, like, is on, like, the same pace right now as Tom Wilson. Is he going to actually play at all this year? I don't know, but the fact that he's practicing with the team non-contact even is encouraging, considering it was a hip injury. So, like, that affects your skating a lot. He's like, if he wasn't good, then he wouldn't be practicing with the team at all. If we get him back, though, it causes a whole lot of cap concerns.
Cap.
Ironically, yes. I don't know what goes, but adding him back would definitely be a welcomed thing, because then we'd have power play issues as well in terms of who we'd want in our first power play, because Strome has been really effective on there, but you're not going to put Nicholas Backstrom on your second power play, especially with how much he's helped Ovechkin with those one-timers and everything, and he can still cross-crease or cross-ice pass better than anyone. So
Better than anyone.
Yeah, like Nicholas Backstrom, literally the thing that he was the best passer in the league.
So he can still cross-crease pass
bro,
better than anyone.
Passing is like
Than anyone.
a cross-ice pass.
Than anyone?
Yeah.
Currently.
Yeah.
Huh.
I have something to
not
say about
biased.
that.
I wouldn't say. I mean, I could probably find people that would agree with me. Let me just go out and ask them, but definitely like just a straight up cross ice pass, standing still across the ice. I think he'd always be top 3. Like, I'm not even gonna have a discussion on that.
I don't think we should have a discussion on
Yeah,
that.
because I mean, like that's his main thing, and like he's done that throughout his career, and even when his hip was shot out, he was still making those passes all day long.
Shout out Charles, the Caps fan, by the way.
Yeah, he'd definitely agree with me too. Love you, Charles. Anyways, if Wilson and Backstrom come back, I'll be a very happy man. And honestly, I know Stützle.
You breathe into the mic a lot.
I know, and they love it. And then I know Stützle is a bit tumultuous at times with his play, but he's still been producing a lot. And I think as he gets older and matures a little bit, the turnovers and the questionable offensive plays will lessen, and will hopefully improve him in like more facets of the game than just like producing points.
He is fun to watch.
It's a little too fun sometimes.
Hey, fun is fun.
I went to the game and there was so many plays where I was like, "Oh my God, Stützle, what a play!" And then 3 seconds later, he just like turned it over to the guy that's like right behind him.
He actually hasn't like been that awful with turnovers. Like
Maybe
there
it's
is
just a San
some
Jose
there is
game.
some games where
Yeah.
he's like not the best, but there are some games where it's like he's really good at kind of like quick turns and like protecting the puck without like losing it and getting smoked. Sometimes he may hold on to the puck a little too long.
That's what I was seeing that day.
Yeah, which I think will come with age more, and hopefully like realizing he can like trust his teammates, whatever it is. But yeah, he like passes it really fast, really accurately, like creates a lot of space for himself and teammates, and yeah, he's a fun guy.
That was just funny. The one that he was like that I'm talking about specifically is in San Jose, or against San Jose. He was like twisting and turning in the corner on a power, or not a power play. It was just like a offensive zone time, and the only guy open was at the point, and it was Travis Hamonic, and it just seemed like he was avoiding passing to him at all costs, and he just turned it over. He'd rather turn it over than pass it to Travis Hamonic. Yeah.
Well, do you want to talk about the Leafs, Omar?
No, I don't think we need to. Let's go to...
Oh, the Leafs. The Leafs are the hottest team in the NHL right now.
I don't know. I feel like their players aren't that attractive.
Mitch Marner is attractive for a high schooler.
They are what?
Okay, this is maybe a weird topic to talk about. A lot of people are like, ew, Austin Matthews is really gross. I don't think he's that, like, weird looking. I feel like because he's so good, and how people are always like, oh, he dresses, like, dumb. But, like, because he's so good, I think he pulls off the mustache and how he dresses because he's just so
seen
I mean,
more
he's too good to.
I've seen more people say that he's attractive than he's not.
Really? I feel like I've heard the opposite.
Maybe I'm just talking to the exact type of girls that love an Austin Matthews type, which I don't know what that would be, but like, I don't know. I think his confidence is the most attractive part
And
of him.
that's a tip for all you lads.
Yes.
Act confident.
Have confidence, have a nasty toe drag shot, and you'll get women.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
I believe Leafs are 10-0-2 in their last 12 games.
No, we're done.
Something like that. As we're recording this, they just came off a 7-0 whooping of the Anaheim Ducks. And this
No
is
big
the
deal.
most poetic justice game.
Wow, you beat the last place team in the NHL.
No, I'm
Award
talking.
decor.
This is about the most poetic. This is the most poetic justice game.
Say poetic one more time.
You know,
Poetic?
just because.
Poetic.
Let's say a month ago, they played the Anaheim Ducks in Anaheim as their last game on a California road trip, which went terribly. It's when the team was playing terrible. They were up 3-1 against Anaheim going into the third
Doesn't
period.
Anaheim have Alex Poetrovic?
What?
You can ignore me.
Just keep talking about the Leafs, bro. This is bad.
And they lost that game, and that's when the fire Sheldon Keefe. This team's lost it. This core is done. This season is the team's just not as good anymore. The players aren't showing any want or any kind of effort or enthusiasm to win. This team doesn't need an identity. They need somewhere to go, and they're just not the same anymore. Blah 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 blah. So much negativity in Toronto. They blow a 3-1 lead to Anaheim. In Anaheim, they're on like a 4-5 game losing streak. They're bottom feeders at that point right now, and they're just playing terrible hockey. And now we're a month later, and they haven't lost a game in regulation in like weeks. And they just whooped Anaheim 7-0. And it's just
had one regulation win.
a full circle. A full circle.
You know what, bro? I'll give Leafs credit. And the second thing is
Mitch Marner, 23 game point streak.
Hey,
today
I
secured.
might be the only person that believed in Sheldon Keefe. My whole thing was fire Kyle Dubas, and I still stand by that. But my thing is with Sheldon Keefe, he's made this team as
The
good
defense.
as it can be. Like, there's no way this should be like a top 10 defensive team, and they are.
Yep.
With these players, like a lot of teams on paper have better defenses. Ottawa arguably has a close enough defense. I mean, there's some players that really drag it down, but it's still close enough. And like,
Yeah. I think having Zaitsev on the ice just
or Hamonic. But regardless, like,
I'll look at the analytics, boys.
no, for Hamonic, that's still bad. But regardless, like that team should not be as good defensively as it is, and they play like a perfect structure for their team. But I also think they just have the puck like the entire game, which is
Yeah, they have the puck a lot.
As good defensively as other teams.
They play defense as the 5-man unit that they bring back there and all pitch in. It's quite effective, and you're not. like, beginning of the season, they were scrambling every time the puck was in their zone. It was like, oh my god, they can't get it out, they can't get to it. It's a chance after chance after chance against, and you're just like, what the hell is going on? Like, they just can't seem to defend anything. And now it's like everything's calm and controlled in their zone, and it just feels when I'm watching the games, generally. Like at the beginning of the season, or even previous Leafs teams, because they've, it's been years since they've ever been good defensively. But defensively, watching them in the past, you're just like in their own zone. It was so frustrating. But now I'm watching them, and I'll be watching them play in their own zone, and I'll be like, I'm not worried that a goal's gonna go in. I'm actually not worried. I'm not even worried. And one could go in, but I'm just not worried because they look so calm and poised back there. It's just like, it just seems like it's always under. They're not scram. They're not. It's never in a situation where it's like, oh my god, they're completely. The way they killed off a 5-on-3 against Dallas, I was like, holy, like,
Yeah. The thing with the Leafs still though is like they're only as good as those core 5 are.
Yes.
And they've been insane. So like I think I saw the stats. It was like 34 points in 29 games for Matthews, 35 and 29 for Marner, 33 for Nylander, and then 28 and 29 for Tavares.
Yeah.
So
they're on the game right now.
With and all of them are still, they're all just going at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a very bad recipe for other teams when that team is good defensively and all 4 of their mega stars are producing.
Just get them to play the Habs or the Sens, and those standings don't matter.
True. But no, they're playing good hockey. I mean, it's not this. We're not about to get carried away here.
There's always this time of year where they're just like going.
They're always going at this time of year. It's true.
Weird,
Yeah, this
I mean,
is like
last
a
year,
vicious cycle.
Last year they were going. Apart from their rough start in October, they were going all year after that. That team was great last year.
I mean, February-ish, it wasn't like as good.
I mean,
February it was like they had to score.
There's
a lot of
always
goals
no.
to win.
I mean, there was because of Campbell at that time. But I
And
mean,
their defense.
and their but I mean, there's always ups and downs. Like there's still many months to go in the season, and they can have a bad month here and there. It's gonna happen at or
2-0 and 10.
they could have a few weeks where it's not looking right again. But I mean, every team goes through ups and downs in a year. That's not a huge concern. If they can if they can play decently as they've been playing right now, they're fine. They're fine going into the playoffs.
Decently they've been playing right
Decently, bro. This is how you should be playing the playoffs.
Yes, this is.
Yeah.
It's really good. I mean, but there's still question marks. Is Murray gonna last in the way he's playing right now?
That's the thing. But right now, that's the other thing they have going for them is Murray and Samsonov both look like
Clicking at the
starters.
same time. Yeah, Samsonov 2 shutouts in a row. Samsonov.
Now the only thing is like, what happens if they both stop playing good at the same time?
That's
Or
a
one of them
concern,
gets injured.
or Murray getting injured again. I mean, that's why
I think the thing that's
yeah.
helping them a lot is because neither of them has to be the starter, and like cohesively as one, they're a really good starter.
Yeah. One
Right.
the 1A 1B is working really well for them.
But and right now they're both 1As.
1A 1A. Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, I think if you take one out of the equation, I feel like that's going to hurt their play a lot because both of them have had significant consistency issues over the last few years. So I really hope for you guys they stay healthy, but I also don't because I don't really like the Leafs that much. But I think that right now everything's clicking at the same time, which is.
And one thing that we need to talk about is Daryl Sutter's comments. Anyone catch Daryl Sutter's comments after the Leafs and Flames played on Saturday night?
Oh, that was funny.
So I'm throwing jabs at the Leafs is a league-wide thing, whether it's teams or fan bases or sports. It's a league-wide thing. It's all fine, but be factual if you're gonna throw a jab. They are 28th in drawing penalties in the last 5 years. They don't get preferential treatment at all. They don't get preferential treatment in terms of power plays. It's factually incorrect. That's just factually incorrect. Okay.
Right. So someone's got to tell Daryl Sutter. I think that's the funniest part of that was where it was you guys took a lot of penalties this game. What seems to be the problem? They're like, oh, it's Toronto. Or
Yeah.
It was Toronto. And he's like, oh, wait, but you did that last game as well. And he's like, I don't care. Do you think those are all penalties? So just backtrack really fast.
So I just bet that we put that in bet.
800.
Oh, he got his hat trick.
Put it on.
So that woo
Oh.
that woo you just heard from Sufi was Alex Ovechkin tying Gordie Howe for
Nope.
800 goals.
Nope.
No, that's just 800 goals.
Where he has it.
Not tying, sorry. He has to. No, he tied it. If he gets one more, he gets a second of all time, right?
801 is the
801 is what Gordie Howe has.
Yeah,
he needs
I was
802 to
flustered.
beat Gordie Howe.
He needs 802. I thought it was
He just hit
800. He just
800.
tied Gordie Howe, and it was 801 to beat Gordie Howe. Okay. Okay.
Wow, what do we know? Nothing.
Oh.
All right, so we're going to go to the game we introduced last episode now. So Sufi's going to pull up a stat for Omar and I to guess the top 10, is it? So Sufi's going to tell us the stat, and then Omar are going to work together to figure out who the top 10 players are within this certain list that he's made, and he will let us know how many strikes we have.
Okay. Since 2015-16, top 10 in shots on goal.
2015-16 top 10 in top shots on
Ready?
goal.
I can tell you one.
Yeah.
Ovechkin.
Yeah, he's one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, 15, 16. So
I want to say I want
when
to
did
guess
Matthews
Matthews.
start playing?
Matthews started playing 2016.
Yeah, he's probably
He's got to be on there.
yeah. Austin Matthews.
Nope.
Oh. Okay. How many strikes do we have? Sorry.
We'll say 5.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna say that was your fault.
We both thought of him at the same time.
Oh, Nathan
He was,
McKinnon's
he was
probably.
12th,
Yeah,
by
I was
the way.
thinking. I was just thinking Nathan McKinnon too.
Okay. Oh, but does he get injured enough that maybe he doesn't?
Matthews was 12th, by the way.
Okay, Matthews is 12. All right.
I guess we don't have to whisper. I was kind of like whispering to you.
Let's leave Nathan McKinnon on the back burner for now.
Okay.
Just we'll go to him if we need to.
Oh. No, I don't know if this is just a streak or maybe. Do you think Dougie Hamilton is one of them? Because remember he had a streak of like 200 games with like a shot on goal in a row.
But since 2015, for like the last 15, so 7 years.
Maybe.
7 years, he's one of the top 10 in 7 years with shots on goal as a defenseman.
I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
I mean, we can guess. You want to guess it?
Okay, let's think of goal scorers. Who have been the best goal scorers in these past years?
Okay, so I would
Stamkos, maybe?
I would say Stamkos is on there.
But
He's also been injured.
Tavares, maybe?
6-2.
Tavares.
Matthew scored.
Okay.
That's
Tavares could be
So happy.
potentially.
Mm.
I would get. Do you think Patrick Laine would be? He started at the same time as Matthews, so I don't think so. Because I think Matthews
And
shoots
he's
more
been
than him.
injured enough that he wouldn't be on.
Jack Eichel.
No.
No.
He missed the whole season.
You guys guessed anyone yet?
Nope.
Apart from the first one.
No.
Goal
Phil
score.
Kessel?
I thought about it, but I don't know. I mean, he used to shoot a lot. I think back in. Should we say? Do you think he squeezes into the top 10? I mean, 2015-16.
could.
He had 2 cups in that time.
Yeah.
So he was a prevalent player for at least 3-4 seasons.
Ooh, you know who shoots a lot? Daniel Sprong.
The way Sufi reacted to you saying that, I don't think he's going to be on the top 10.
Okay. Should we just go with McKinnon?
That's kind of 300 more shots than the second place person.
Let's go Nathan McKinnon.
Second.
Oh,
Okay, good.
great.
Yeah.
That was our back burner pick, by the
So
way.
do we want to say Stamkos?
I mean, oh, wait. Oh, no, he missed like a lot of time, didn't he?
Stamkos had was it the broken leg after 2015 or was it broken leg like 2014?
He missed
Was
the
broken.
season when they won the first cup.
Yeah, but that was a shortened season anyway.
And then
I'm
when
talking
did he
about that
miss the
leg
other one? It was
injury.
probably like
When he broke his leg, was that 2014? I want to say that was before 2015.
I don't know. He still could be there if he takes that many shots.
You know what? That's Steven Stamkos.
Nope.
Okay, he's not. Sorry. I'll take the blame for that one.
Okay, 2 strikes, Omar.
Okay.
Okay, who else have we even talked about? Gosh. I wonder if we've said the names and he's just like,
Do we want to say Brock Besser?
no, we don't. Oh. Leon Draisaitl?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd be on there.
He's scored like 50 goals a bunch of times.
Yeah, but he has one of the highest shooting percentages ever.
That doesn't mean he doesn't shoot well.
I think he averages like 200 to 210 a season.
Yeah, we're off to a bad.
Still a lot.
I feel like a lot of the players in this are not going to be the high goal scorers.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just thinking.
Like, then Kessel?
I don't want to think Kessel and then get another strike. I want to be sure
These are
about
3.
someone. Yeah, I want to be sure. And we've only gotten 2, right? Have you got 2 or 3? 2, because Stamkos wasn't in there. Yeah.
This is tough. Like, you could go
Are there any defensemen that could potentially be on there? I know you said Hamilton, but like anyone else?
Brent Burns maybe.
I thought about him too. He should.
He takes a lot of shots.
He does take a lot of shots.
That's who I would say next.
Okay, let's do Brett Burns.
4th.
Okay, nice.
Ooh.
So we're missing
Good
number
call.
3 still, eh?
Mm-hmm.
You have 1, 2,
But didn't
and
Dougie
4.
Hamilton like miss a ton of time?
Do you want to say Dougie Hamilton? I think you
No.
No?
Ooh, Pasternak.
He's missed a decent chunk too, hasn't he?
Not as much, I don't think. We could say
Marshall could be on there, no?
I mean, he could. Oh gosh, this is hard. This is.
Let's go like team by team here. On the Leafs, no one. Well, you said Tavares could be.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't miss that many games, does he?
No, he's pretty
And
consistent.
he scores like 30 to 40 goals every year.
Should we say him?
Yeah.
Tavares.
8th. That
Whoa!
was one you said earlier, and I was like, just say it.
Yeah.
So you have 1, 2, 4, and 8.
Okay, let's go through the Eastern. Do you think PK Subban would be on there?
No.
It was worth a shot.
It was a dumb shot.
Okay.
Not even a shot on goal.
The face you gave me, I was like,
Disgusted.
yeah, it was so disgusted by
Hey,
that.
do you think Radko Gudas would be on there?
Okay, let's go through. Okay,
Hmm.
on the Montreal
Okay.
Canadiens, who anyone in the last? No, I don't think so.
Do we think that like Johnny Gaudreau would be there? I don't know if he takes a ton of shots though.
Do you think Matthew Tkachuk would also be there?
But he was the 2015 draft, right? So then, did he play right away?
Johnny Gaudreau, did he play right away?
When did Brady Tkachuk get drafted? Was that 2017?
Was it not 18?
18? So I don't think he would have had enough. But he shoots a lot.
When did Matthew get drafted? 2016, Matthew
No.
Tkachuk. No, Matthew Tkachuk.
2015. Yeah, because that was the Shabbat draft, and I think that was the same draft.
Should we try Matthew Tkachuk?
Oh, man. Did he play right away?
I want to say he did, but I can't be sure about it. I think he could be on there, considering he did also have 100 points last season.
I feel like it could be multiple players from that draft, because there's like Timo Meyer, who shoots a lot there.
Yeah.
Um,
Should we go for Matthew Tkachuk?
Jeff Skinner could be on there.
Ooh, Jeff Skinner's an interesting one.
Tage Thompson just had so many shots in the past 8 games that
He could be
there.
on there. You know what? Let's say Tkachuk.
We could just say Kachuk and see if either of them are there. I don't think Brady's there. I don't really think Matthew's there, but he could be there.
Fine, I won't. Fine if you don't think so. We'll leave him out.
Do we think like a Winnipeg player is on there? They've had good forwards.
Like you're talking about, like a Scheifele or a Wheeler, or Ehlers. I mean, Ehlers and Connor, I guess, but
Maybe Zibanejad.
Zibanejad could be on there.
What's the guess, guys?
I just don't want to be wrong.
Okay, let's just say fine. Let's say Zibanejad.
They're like same players, but I like really don't think some of them are right. Like I'm just throwing shit out there.
I mean, I feel this
like
is a
Philip
tough.
Forsberg could be one. I don't know.
I mean, this is a tough one. So I mean, we're gonna have to just put some names out there, see what happens.
Or Patrick Kane, maybe.
Nah, I don't think Patrick Kane.
No. DeBrincat?
When was he drafted?
2015.
Okay, let's do it.
You think?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we gotta take a shot somewhere. Let's go. DeBrincat. Yeah, I thought so.
5 strikes each, right?
I don't know. You have 4 strikes, though.
So Zibanejad and DeBrincat were on there because
Yeah.
DeBrincat and Zibanejad's not on there. Okay, great.
I still say we go for
Oh gosh, we should just give up.
I say we go for Matthew
Try to
Tkachuk.
get one more.
I say we go for
And I'll
Matthew
tell you the
Tkachuk.
rest.
Okay, how about we lose after this one, but then we can just go
Yeah.
at it and no strikes.
Okay.
Yeah, then every single player name. just start naming players one by one.
Okay, but we still have a strike. Let's go. Let's do Matthew Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk.
Nope.
Okay.
All right. Let's just throw out names then. Tavares. Wait, we said Tavares.
No, we didn't say
Yeah,
Tavares.
it's Tavares.
Oh, we did say Tavares. Yeah.
Who didn't we say that we brought up?
Dougie Hamilton.
Dougie Hamilton?
No, but he's like 15th or something.
Oh.
Not
Yeah,
bad.
injuries aside, he probably would have been on there.
Hey, look at me.
How about Zdeno Chara?
No.
That's it. No, he's not on there.
Okay, who did we say? Phil Kessel?
Nope.
Okay. We said
Kelly
Phil
Young.
Forsberg.
Nope.
Jeff Skinner.
Yep. 10th.
Oh, he's 10th. Jeff Skinner is 10th.
Shoot.
We still haven't got the number 3, right?
We don't have number 3.
Who could be third after
You have
McKinnon
1,
and
2,
Ovechkin?
4, 8, and 10.
1, 2, 4, 8, 10. Okay.
I want to see a Jets player. I have a feeling. I want to go for either Ehlers.
Let's just throw it out. Gaudreau.
Ehlers.
No.
Ehlers.
No.
Connor.
No.
Pionk.
No.
Zibanejad. Oh no, we
Already
guessed
said
it.
that,
We guessed
no.
it.
Kane.
Hey, when
Kane was third.
Oh, you said Kane and you went, no.
I didn't
I was
think
gonna say,
he'd.
bro, Kane shoots like 290 shots a year.
Yeah, whatever.
Kucherov? No, he's been injured.
No.
Who hasn't? No, they're not. Oh,
Okay,
Joe
we'll keep this going,
Pavelski?
2 minutes. No.
Tyler Seguin.
no, he's been injured too much. Unless.
Guess it.
Tyler Seguin.
Yes. 5th.
Oh.
501 games. 1,786 shots.
Tyler Seguin.
Actually,
Yeah.
I thought
He's
didn't he
fifth.
miss the whole last season?
Yep. Shoots a lot. He has so that's you guys are top 5.
Pasternak.
He was 7th. In 492 games, he has 761 shots. So you need
Marchand?
6. No, you need 6 and
Bergeron, you think?
Rantanen.
no
Bergeron.
6th.
Ooh.
You need
I wouldn't have
ninth.
guessed Bergeron.
9th. I'll give you a hint. It's a defenseman.
Number 9.
Yeah.
Weber.
6'3". Damn it.
They're a 6'3" defenseman.
No, don't be scared.
Oh, Hedman.
No.
Fox.
No. Fox?
I don't know.
Carlson?
Thinking of defenseman.
Nope.
No. Either Carlson.
Nope.
Okay.
Not even Gabriel Carlson.
Oh, not even William on defense. Shea Theodore.
Nope.
Anthony D'Angelo.
Central Division.
Roman Yossi.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it was Ovechkin, McKinnon, Kane, Burns, Sagan, Bergeron, Pasternak, Tavares, Yossi, and Skinner, and then Evander Kane was 11th.
Huh.
Interesting list.
Very much so.
Yeah. I feel like that's a list though where it's like,
How are you gonna guess it? I mean,
yeah, it's like some of them are obvious, but then some of them it's like
I would have just went straight to fantasy. hockey,
like Sagan.
right?
I was like, there's no way. 'cause he
Second, I
missed
would
so
have.
much time.
It's literally just I would have just based my entire guesses off fantasy hockey because we have that as a stat, and I know guys that shoot like 280, 300 shots a year, and that's Sagan and McKinnon and stuff.
Nerd.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was
Riveting.
way more difficult than I thought. Okay. Let's talk about the NHL. Who are the hot teams? Who are not the hot teams? Who are the hot players? Who are the not the hot players? I know we already talked about some hot players. But who or what have you noticed recently in the NHL, Sufjan?
I think everyone's noticing. Buffalo.
Yeah.
Tage Thompson. When they win, it's always a lot. Today, 2 scoreless periods. They were getting outshot 18-3 in the first period against LA. They won the game 6-0.
What did Tate Thompson do today?
2 goals and assists.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is third in points.
There was
it's
something
pretty
I
crazy.
saw with there was an Instagram post and it showed the paces that everyone was on this year, and it's absolutely insane because I think Tage Thompson was on pace for 60 goals and 60 assists. Robertson was on pace for 66 goals and 70 assists. McDavid was on pace for more than both of that, and even more now because he had a 4-point night. So I don't know, and scoring hasn't gone up as a whole. It's just these players are getting a ton more points. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, Tage is my notable performer of like the last month, not even just a week. But Buffalo in general, I think that this is they're kind of in a similar spot to a team like Ottawa and Detroit, but I think that we kind of had them below both those teams, and they're kind of proving to be more formidable than we thought. And it's most honestly another player on that team that's made a bigger jump than I think most people thought they would is Dylan Cousins, and he's almost point a game. He's played really well. I think the only major issue they have is goaltending. I mean, they did get a shutout today, but there's a lot of weight being put on Craig Anderson's shoulders, and I don't know how much longer he can really hold on to it, but he's trying his darndest. Ukko-Pekka Lekkinen hasn't been as good of a prospect as I think they hoped, but they do have like two more major goalie prospects coming up the pipeline. So
And they have Comrie.
yeah, and they're Comrie. But I think Devin Levi is the big one there, if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, bright future in Buffalo. The D-core needs work, but Rasmus Dahlin is still sick. Owen Power's been the second best rookie defenseman in the NHL after Sandbox. But I like both Sanderson and Power both. I think are showing that it takes a longer time to develop the defensive side in the NHL, even as a more defensive defenseman like Sanderson is, or Power has had a defensive upside in the NCAA, but they're both, at least analytically, having trouble defensively. Not maybe certain plays they look good, and certain plays they look like they're still in junior, but it's kind of expected with defensemen at that age. Rasmus Dahlin went through it, and a couple of years later, and now he's looking like one of the better defensemen in the NHL. So I think that could be the case for both of them in a couple of years. So yeah.
Omar, what have you been noticing in the NHL?
The
Toronto Maple Leafs.
I mean,
7-3. Let's go.
the Rangers are playing some better hockey. They were okay for a bit, but like they still weren't what I expected. But they're playing some better hockey recently. I do like. I'm very interested in Vancouver this season still. So
It's a weird team.
it's a really weird team.
Yeah.
So I keep. They're like up or they're down, but they're kind of recovering a little bit.
Do you see the thing? Remember the thing I told you about Brock Besser yesterday?
Yes.
Dom from the Athletic put his player cards out, and Brock Besser somehow doesn't play any defense at all. His bar for defense was 0, and the only player that I saw like near that was Phil Kessel, and he still had 1 percentile. And then his offense was like 25. So like, I don't even know if a change of scenery can help him at this point. I think he needs to change like leagues. Go to Switzerland, have a time, and come back. But Vancouver's an interesting team for sure.
The LA Kings are actually interesting too. I don't really know where this team stands. Like I believe they're still holding on to a third in the div spot.
And I've seen them lose like 6-0 twice.
I think it was 6-0. I mean, Leafs played around with them the other day. It wasn't even close.
It's a weird team on any given night. They could be either really good or really bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
That might just be the whole Pacific Division, though. That's the only
Yeah,
problem.
that's true. I mean, I think they'll manage to stay in their spot, or at least I think they'll squeeze into the playoffs. I just don't know. I'm not sure what the team.
The
I'm not
Western
sure what to think
Conference-
about the team. Like they're one of the worst in terms of goals against. I think they're the worst.
Yeah.
Are they the worst or one of the worst?
They might be like their goalie that they signed for 5 years is on waivers,
Yeah,
or was on waivers. He might be gone now, but
but in terms of, I mean, defensively, they're not that great of a team.
the whole Western Conference has been not as good
Yeah,
as the Eastern Conference. Like, what's the team in the Western Conference? Like, I mean, I guess Winnipeg, but even they're not like perfect by any means. Like,
yeah.
What a great pick.
But I think at this point,
I didn't realize how bad the Western Conference was going to be.
at this point in the season, I think the biggest disappointment so far in the West has been Edmonton.
But they've been
No.
good lately.
Lately, they've been good.
I
They're-
disagree.
The season,
You know why?
Calgary.
Because Colorado is
Calgary,
14-10-2.
but Calgary's had.
Bro, I
Colorado's had
can't.
the
I'm not
injuries,
going to
though.
talk anything on Colorado, bro. Mikko Rantanen is their first line center.
Yeah,
with like JT Compher on his right and like Colorado's first line the other day was Cogliano, I think, or some other random left winger. Rantanen at center, he's usually a right winger, and Charles Hudon on the right wing.
Yeah, they've
had the worst injury problems out of they've had worse injury problems than Sens and Caps combined.
Yeah, Colorado.
In fact, they're even above 500.
It's tough to say Colorado, but I mean,
even right now, their forward lines are Lekin and Rantanen and Nichushkin, decent. Like I mean, that's more of like a second line. Cogliano, Compher, O'Connor, Hudon, Mayers, and Jean-Luc Foudy. I only know who one of those players is. Dryden Hunt, Alex Newhook, and Jacob McDonald. I don't know who Jacob McDonald is. And then their defense is pretty much the same. It's just Brad Hunt and Englund are filling in for a couple injured players. And then on top of that, so here's who they have. Landeskog, Helm, Manson, McKinnon, McDermott, Byram, and Evan Rodriguez are all out. There's some okay players.
Yeah.
Just stay healthy, lol.
I wish it was that easy.
But still, I would say Colorado, Calgary, Edmonton.
Calgary has been disappointing, yeah.
All haven't been very good. I would also like to bring up earlier in the season, not that we didn't think this was going to happen, but Tampa didn't start super strong. They're 18-9-1 now in 28 games. Pittsburgh was on a losing streak for a while. They are now, in my opinion, quietly 17-8-4.
Yeah.
Which is a really good record. Like I didn't even think about them.
Insane this year. What's Dallas on?
Dallas is 17-8-5.
Is that first in Central or second?
That is first in Central.
Solid. Yeah, I mean they're
with 2 more games played than Winnipeg, though.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless, like the thing with Dallas was, I think we've said before, like Ben Sagan, if they were anywhere remotely close to what they used to be, they were going to be a good team.
Yeah.
But if
then Jason Robertson. Though.
But then you also didn't expect like an MVP candidate coming out of Robertson. But even Rope Hintz has been really, really good. And Pavelski is like 1,000 years old and he's still producing. So.
And Boston's still going strong
now too. Oh yeah. Oh my God, Boston. Boston is. I asked him a question before we started. I said Charlie McAvoy or Morgan Riley. He said Morgan Riley. This is after we saw Charlie McAvoy make about 4 amazing plays in a row. And he still went
Morgan Riley's probably also watching.
On the IR. He's watching Charlie McAvoy to see how to play defense. I mean, that team is looking pretty sick. Jacob DeBrusk looked really good today randomly. They have Taylor Hall randomly, too. Like, I keep forgetting that he's on that team.
Yeah, I keep forgetting Taylor Hall's on that team, man.
And then their decor is really good right now. With how Hampus Lindholm is playing and stuff, too. Like, and their goaltending is... There's no weaknesses on that team right now. It's going to be a pretty scary team for Toronto to face in the first round again.
We're not, if it stays like this, we're not playing them.
I know.
We're playing Tampa again at this point.
No. Oh, that's so much better.
Yay for you.
That's actually the
catch a freaking break.
The fact that Bettman said yesterday that the playoff format is a non-issue because people are asking for, or someone asked if they were going to have a wild card team or whatever, like a play-in game like the NBA, which I also disagree with. Like I don't think that should be in there either. But the playoff format is bad. Like it should be 1 versus 8, like it used to be.
It should be, yeah.
So that we don't like. It's not even. I'm not saying it just for Toronto. I just don't like seeing the same matchups every year. Like I get it creates rivalries and stuff, but you can still get that out of a 1v8 like matchup.
Yeah, a 1v8 is
a delicious drink. A V8?
Delicious drink. Yeah. A 1v8, I mean, the underdog stories are fun with those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care about a second wild card making it to the second round. I mean, I do if it's Washington, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, I just want to talk about those couple teams that I had mentioned, like Pittsburgh being sneaky good. Like,
Yeah.
if I remember, people
Pittsburgh's
like,
been
"Wow,
very
people are
sneaky."
old, and then I haven't heard anything about them, and they're seventh in the NHL.
Their supporting cast players are really stepping up. And Crosby has pretty much just been the same as he's been for the entirety of his
Because he's
career.
better than Draisaitl right now.
And yet somehow Draisaitl's still on pace for like 40 more points.
And whose team's better in the standings?
Pittsburgh has a better team.
It's debatable.
Pittsburgh has better goaltending.
That's not
Okay.
debatable.
That's also debatable. Stuart Skinner's been insane. They don't have Darnell Nurse, so it's fine. That just makes you significantly worse. Regardless, I'm not having this argument. We already did this,
Yeah.
and I won. So,
Okay.
but yeah, no, Pittsburgh. I don't know. I hope they start losing soon. I don't like Pittsburgh. But Crosby's been unreal, and Malkin's had a solid like resurgent season after many injuries. But for his sake, I do hope he stays healthy. He's kind of had a rough couple of years, or a rough career with injuries, actually. Both him
Yeah.
and Crosby. So it's kind of weird
And
seeing
Letang.
them. And Letang. Letang, respect for coming back from a stroke.
Yes.
That was the fact that he's back this soon. Apparently, he has like an actual hole in his heart. Which
Yeah,
is
but that they
sad.
discovered in the previous stroke, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty sad. But
Yeah.
he's regardless of anything like hockey wise, it's nice to see him playing again, like alive. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like Crosby, Gensel, Malkin, all been amazing. So, who's the other team you said?
Calgary being not that good.
Maybe it's a coaching issue there.
Calgary also not too. I mean, it has been new players trying to gel with each other, which there could be some growing pains there. So I mean, it's not like it's a shock or anything. It's,
Individually, those players haven't looked horrible. Like,
Yeah.
their stats are pretty much the same. It's just maybe the changes affected the way they played under the system that Daryl Sutter had.
Yeah, and maybe it will just take a bit more time to gel there, but I think I think they'll be all right.
And they have a great chance of being all right in that horrible division. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they could get a wild card. Like I'm literally thinking, if this is kind of how it goes, if they don't go into like a higher position, I see them going into like a wild card and then trucking in the playoffs.
yeah, like the LA Kings, but I could also see the LA Kings being the LA Kings this year.
Yeah, you
They're
never know.
they're a bunch of babies. Fiala, Arvidsson, that doesn't scare me.
Apparently, Gabe Velarde has been really good, and no one's really noticed because he's playing in LA, which is odd because they're technically a big market team, but
It's
respect,
tough.
he's
I
good
mean,
with him.
it's tough to say that LA is gonna pull another LA just because Quick isn't the player he was. Doughty isn't the player he
Yeah,
was.
we were saying the same things when LA was going in those cup runs. I'm not saying they will do this, by the way. I
Yeah.
have zero faith in their team.
No. But when they
What I'm
went
saying,
into
this is
those
exactly
Why
what
did
the-
you bring it
This
up?
is the exact philosophy we had when they were 8-1
No,
against
hey,
Vancouver.
Hey, who said Winnipeg was going to be in a positional spot? Thank
Who
you.
said
Let's
Boston
let's
was gonna
listen
be
to
good?
my predictions.
Let's listen to Boston.
I said Boston's gonna miss, man.
Yeah, that's.
I'm
we at
looking
least said something that was moderately
fantastic
right.
right now. Well, I'm close to
I
my
mean-
Leafs guarantee.
I said Ovechkin was going to hit 895.
Boston's still ahead of them.
They're still ahead, but
And Tampa's right
but
there.
we're within reach where it could. You never know.
I'm
It
so
could
happy
flip.
I went back on that prediction.
Yeah, you did go back on that prediction.
No.
But you said Tampa first, though.
I don't even care who I chose,
Yeah.
as long as it wasn't the Leafs. Anyways.
All right. Well, we're going to go to our head-to-head segment. We would just like to thank you for listening. We do post these on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube. So if you want to check those out and share them, we very much appreciate it. And this matchup are two players that we talked about today. They are two players that over the past couple of years have taken the NHL by storm. Two players that are scoring at will. Two players that Sufi loves. One of them that Austin loves. Shout out Austin. Number 72 for the Buffalo Sabres, Tage Thompson. And number 21 for the Dallas Stars, Jason
You saw this on a
Robertson.
social media post.
I did not.
Oh, because I saw this exact argument on a social media
Tage
post.
Thompson versus Jason Robertson.
Mm-hmm.
This is tough, man.
Jeff Skinner versus Joe Pavelski.
No. So, I'm going to let you guys think. So, over the past
Well, my
couple of
answer
years,
is-
both of them have increased their play remarkably, I think Tage Thompson is a 6'7" or 6'8" walking highlight or skating highlight. This man scores goals at will. Jason Robertson, he is, they're very close in points in games played right now. It's ridiculous what they're doing there. Jason Robertson, it seems like he's also just, everything's just going in, whether it's a lucky bounce, it's a overtime winner. You couldn't ask for more out of these two guys. They both have like 20-plus goals, 20-plus assists already. And so I'll go to you first, Omar. I feel like we don't go to you first. Who are you feeling?
I mean, there's no wrong answer in this one, is there?
It's not a wrong answer, no.
It's not a wrong answer. I mean, they're both, I don't know. You know what? I will go with Tage Thompson.
Okay.
And I will go with Thompson because I'll take his size and his ability to score at will, like the way he does at that size, the way he moves at that size. I think just
Like
make.
singing.
I think right now just makes him that little bit more dangerous, just because he has that fact. Like, it's a guy at that size who can move like he can move, who can shoot like he can shoot, and who can impact the game like he can impact it. It's just, I feel like that's just that dynamic of his size might just pull him over the edge for me. Just because he has more of that physical aspect that can pummel through guys. I'll put him on that. Not to mention, I also do think Tage Thompson is on the worst team on the Buffalo Sabres. He doesn't have a Joe Pavelski. He doesn't have a Jake Ottinger. He doesn't have he doesn't have the defense that the Dallas has, and let's not forget that Dallas has a pretty decent defense. And he doesn't have Tyler Seguin, and he doesn't have these guys. He doesn't have a nice power play like that, So he doesn't have a power play where you have Joe Pavelski on one side, Tyler Seguin on one side, Jamie Benn out there. I mean, I think, I feel like I'll give him the edge on this one.
Well, Sufi is struggling right now, but game show rules. We're gonna have to push you for an answer.
Let me just talk for a bit. So, I think that Jason Robertson's career may be. I think it's eventually going to be more of like a consistent career. I think that he's going to be able to produce longer and like later into his 30s because I think he has a better hockey IQ than a lot of players in the NHL, which is kind of how he's produced his points. And maybe it's not as dominant looking because he kind of plays like in the nonchalant style as someone like Kucherov or Pasternak. Both players are very effective and like all three of those guys are very effective, and I think that on any given team they'd be the best, one of the best contributors on either of those teams. I think Jason Robertson is also very strong. MVP candidate. The only person that I'd have above him on that MVP candidacy is Tage Thompson. I don't think that's the answer that either of you thought I was going to give.
After that, the spiel, no.
But even just looking at the stats, I kind of agree with Omer, even though I never usually do. Yeah, it's like, so Tage Thompson, like when I watched him a couple of years ago, I don't like that you pick both players that I really enjoy watching, and they're both young and amazing. So I guess it is a good comparison. To be fair, they both are literally right next to each other on goals, points, assists, and power play points. Thompson has like 8 more shots, but I think he, I don't know what the games played and stuff are like that for that to be the case, but regardless, he is a little more dominant in the sense that like he has the size and skill that was evident even when he wasn't a good producer of points a couple of years ago, which I think I've told many people now is when he played against the Caps a couple of years ago, he maybe had like 6 points in like 40 games or whatever. But he still looked like he either could be dominant or he was dominant, but no one could tell because the puck just never went in the net. And now the team in Buffalo is getting a little bit better, and I think that his contribution to that is far greater than most could expect. And the thing is, I think that both of their contracts are now looking like the absolute biggest steals of all time. Both at like 7 and then 7.1 for Thompson. Buffalo luckily got him for 7 or 8 years, but Robinson's going to have that big contract. The thing is, if I had to choose literally right now, this could literally change tomorrow. I would choose Thompson. I would choose Thompson for MVP this year. The only thing with Thompson that I would say that he's lacking at is
Size.
yeah, his defense. His defensive play has not been good, and the only thing that's overshadowing that is the fact that like he always has the puck, so it doesn't really matter. As long as that stays the same, I'll still give it to him. Robertson, I'll give him credit. He's probably one of the best defensive wingers in the league. I mean, according to analytics, he is he's probably like top 5 defensive. He is one of the best defensive wingers in the league, but I think that's a little. It has a little less impact on the winger position, so I don't want to give him too many points above Thompson for that. But literally, we could have like a 2-point Jason Robertson night tomorrow, and Thompson scores less than that, and I'd probably give it to Robertson. So that's how close it is. Either way, both these players are amazing, and
Go Sens.
yeah,
Evan.
I'm taking Oz's side here.
Evan, what are you gonna say?
I'm going to be honest. I thought I was going to be in the majority here, and I was expecting like Sufi to say Jason Robertson, and then I was going to be like, maybe I should pick Tage Thompson just to mess with him.
I was gonna pick Robertson.
I think I was gonna go Robertson the entire time, and I was like, it's really freaking close.
Yeah.
I think. Let me explain. So I think Tage Thompson is one of the most fun players to watch. He is a literal highlight reel, like I said. He scores incredible goals every other night, and not even incredible goals. He scores multiple incredible goals and just random other goals all in the same game. 5-goal game. Like, this guy is insane. Like, I have rarely, if ever, seen a player like this. It is crazy the size this guy has and how well he moves. He moves like he's Nathan Gerby.
His hands too for a guy that big is insane.
Yeah, it is so impressive, and he uses his size to his advantage, like being able to protect the puck and everything, and just the creativity as well. Like, it's remarkable. And yeah, he is on a worse team, and I think it is so close. Like Sufi said, like the next 10-game stretch, I could absolutely switch.
Switch tomorrow.
But I think Jason Robertson, just because he's done this his whole career, is why I'm going to pick him. He started hot and has not cooled off. Tage Thompson is so hot, however you want to take that, and he is just scoring at will, but Robertson has not slowed down. If anything, he's just gotten even better, and Tage Thompson has continued to get better. But I'm going to take the guy that is over point per game in his career and just has not slowed down, and that's the only reason I have to maybe go him, and maybe
argument.
saying that he's slightly better defensively, and other than that, yeah.
Oh, he's significantly better defensively for a winger. Like, as good as you can be for a winger. The only thing with that for me is that, like, I think that speaks more to Dallas's development, because they're both, I think, around the same age. Like, maybe I think there's like a 2-year difference in between, if at all. Like, I think Robertson might even be 23.
But even last year, like,
But no, that's what I'm saying. Like, because Thompson for the last 2 years has been this. Robertson probably 3.5, I think, or no, 2.5, because I'm counting the half as like the shortened season. But realistically, I don't think Thompson should have been in the NHL when he came into the NHL. If he had the 2 years or 2 or 3 year development in the AHL that Robertson did, Robertson absolutely tore up the AHL. I think Thompson might have been able to do the same thing, but instead he was in the NHL playing with significantly worse players than Robertson was coming into the NHL. Now, I don't know if you switch their spots or whatever, the hypotheticals like that. And I do give Robertson credit for coming into the NHL and scoring right away and being as good as he is, but I think that Thompson would have definitely fared better in a development system where he had the chance to actually go and develop his game and come into the NHL at 22 or 21 like Robertson did. And I think he would have produced at a similar rate that he was last year and then taken the same jump this year. But I think Buffalo is kind of notorious for doing that because they've been bad for 10 years. And now we're seeing the same kind of thing with guys like Jack Quinn or Owen Power, where maybe they should be in the AHL or junior or wherever the heck they came from. But they're going to play now, and then maybe they'll see the jump to it when they're 23 or 24 like Thompson did.
Yeah, I mean, like, Tage Thompson I probably prefer watching, but...
Honestly, they're both the same to me. I'd rather watch
They're both amazing.
I had to
Same.
pick one. Well, this is like a very friendly one.
It's because you picked two players who are
You didn't say
can't.
anything about my mom this time.
Did I say something about your mom? You say
No.
something about my mom.
Yeah.
No, I
What are
would
you talking
never.
about?
Never.
I think she doesn't listen.
Yeah. My mom said she tried to listen, but gave up.
Uh,
That's okay. She tried.
does your mom listen?
No.
Damn.
Over 3.
Our moms.
So hopefully someone's mom is listening to this.
Anyways, we would like to appreciate whatever. Thank all the moms and others for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And yeah, episode 14 is a wrap.
Check us out again. Remember, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Take care, guys.
Bye.